Step one. So what are your favorite food-based sources then of fiber?
Okay, so we have tons of choices, right? So every plant-based food has fiber. If I were to say what's like super jammed packed, where if you want to get maximum bang for your buck and simultaneously you can get healthy fat, I would go seeds. So chia seeds, basil seeds, flax seeds, hemp seeds, jam-packed with fiber. They do have protein. Hemp seeds are pretty decent for protein. I mean, it's not crazy, but it's definitely there. And healthy fats. So you have omega-3 fats in there, right? So we're actually addressing multiple things that our body needs because the omega-3 fats are essential fats. So that means we have to get them from our diet. I actually think the avocado is like a low-key like fiber superstar. So because we always talk about avocados as being fat, right? And what you're totally missing is that a medium-sized avocado could have 10 or 12 grams of fiber.
That's right.
Right. So that's an amazing way to like crank your fiber up because it's delicious. You're happy, right? You're satiated, and you just increased your fiber intake by 10 or 12 grams.
Avocado is also amazing for cognitive function. Great brain food. One of my favorite. I actually think avocados are the best brain fruit. Berries tend to get all the love, and berries are great. Don't get me wrong, berries are amazing. But avocados are also a fruit, and I think like when you actually look at what's in an avocado, you get there's a lot of bang for your buck.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. And, but within the space of berries, like raspberries, tons of fiber and actually very easily digested by people who have gut issues. So if you're listening to the show and you're a little bit apprehensive because you're worried that the fiber is going to hurt you, then like starting with raspberries is a great place to start.
Why do some people claim on social media that they feel better when they reduce their fiber intake? Like, how do you reconcile all those anecdotes?
Yeah, it's real. It's the nuance of fiber. I wish it were so easy that it was just black and white and I didn't have to actually explain it. But that's not the way the body always works. So your gut is a muscle. It can be trained. It can be made stronger. Fiber is exercise for your gut. This is the equivalent of that gut muscle working out. Okay. So when the capacity for work is in alignment with the amount of fiber intake, you should feel well. But if your gut is weak and you go hard with the fiber, that's like going to the gym and trying to lift way more weight than you have any business lifting, right? You have to match the amount of fiber to what your gut is capable of processing and digesting. So for people who are just getting started on this journey, don't go too hard, don't go too fast. I always say start low, go slow. And basically then, much like exercise, you go into the gym, you start with an amount that your body can actually handle, and then over time you're able to increase. Like you didn't get to where you are today in terms of your fitness by waking up one day and working out super hard.
Exactly.
Right? It was a build.
Yeah, definitely not overnight. So the take home then is like if you want to increase your fiber, which most people should, listening to this, go slowly.
Go slowly, right? And if you do that, and you listen to your body, and if you feel like, hey, that was too much, you could slow it down, right? But like basically, you just need to match the fiber to what your gut's capable of doing.
What do you make of the proliferation of fiber enriched ultra processed foods?
Yeah. Honestly, I'm not a fan. The issue from my perspective is that there's fiber that naturally exists in the matrix of food. And then there are extracts, which are monofibers. You must understand, Max, that like every plant is going to have a blend, like a fingerprint, a unique blend of fiber, many different strains and types. In the same way that different protein sources, they have unique types of protein, right? With a different mix of amino acids. So like fiber and protein, there's some similarities there in terms of the way they behave. So, and when we talk about these ultra processed fiber sources, we're really talking about inulin for the most part. And inulin is extracted chemically, right, from Jerusalem artichoke or whatever it might be, or chicory root. Okay, so you extract the inulin, and then you take this monofiber and you basically like drop it into a beverage, okay, like a bubbly type of thing. And now you can make health claims because you have provided a sufficient amount to achieve a health claim. So in terms of greenwashing, health washing, that's a great win if you're a brand, right? Now, from my perspective, here's my pushback as a gastroenterologist and gut microbiome expert. Number one, that is the cheapest source of fiber. People don't even realize how cheap that is. Like, it's like a joke. You just paid 3 times as much for that can of soda, and you could have bought that Inuin for a few pennies. Literally. Number two, there is no other source of fiber that will produce more gas in your body than Inuin. Okay, so Max, you've heard of a low FODMAP diet.
Yeah, heard of it, yeah.
Okay, so low FODMAP diet is what people do to like try to reduce fermentation, reduce gas and bloating, right? And like well studied in irritable bowel syndrome. Okay, so that concept is to reduce FODMAPs. Inuin is purified FODMAP. Like you are like basically supercharged gas production right there.
Dude, I went to my brother's house a couple weeks ago for Thanksgiving, and they had there was on the counter on the kitchen island, they had found on Amazon some like sugar-free marshmallow product that they were auditing for the sweet potato mash that, you know, we love to put marshmallows on top of.
Sure.
So they went on Amazon, they found this like sugar-free marshmallow product. I forget the brand name. But they were really tasty. So I wanted to try one. I ended up eating like 8 of them, but they were very low calorie. So I was like, what's the harm, right? Yeah. Like I marshmallow maxed on these like sugar-free marshmallows. Bro, I felt so bad for my family because I could not stop farting.
Yeah.
It was just, and I looked on the back of the package, and within the top like 3 ingredients, it was artichoke fiber, like artichoke inulin or something like that.
Yeah.
I was like, so I was uncomfortable. I was embarrassed. My stomach, it had turned my gut into a fermentation factory. And it was not pleasant.
Yeah, yeah. Well, you overdid it on the Inuin in this case. And I'm sorry that ruined Thanksgiving for your family, but
it was unrelenting. It was crazy.
All right, so but if you take that, the Inuin,
I'm not prone to that either. Like it was like I was like, what is going on?
Yeah, yeah. You had never been exposed to such concentrated sources of gas production, basically.
There needs to be a warning label.
Yeah,
on
there
these
should
products.
be. Yeah. And if you add this to a carbonated drink, it's a total setup for people to feel bloated. Right? Like, so you're trying to work on your gut and you're making yourself bloated in the process. But here's the last part that I think is really important for people to hear. There was a study that came out a few years ago where they showed that in humans, that if you take Inuin, it can actually cause abnormal liver tests. And at first I kind of dismissed this, like, what's going on with that? And then there was another study where they showed that rats being given this type of fiber, they develop liver cancer. All right, here's what's happening. You're extracting a monofiber and then you're overstuffing it. So when you are consistently providing this Inuin, you're overfeeding the bacteria that eat that monofiber. That's an unnatural thing. It doesn't exist in nature. There's no monofibers, right? So even if you ate the same food all the time, it wouldn't be a monofiber. It would be a blend of many forms of fiber. So because you've done this, you're overstuffing those bacteria, then ultimately you get consequences from this. So the point from my perspective, this is not, by the way, an argument against like the totality of fiber supplements. I obviously believe in fiber supplements. I own a supplement company, but also our product is not extracts at all. Like every single ingredient is basically whole food derived and then ground into a powder, right? So it's a different process.
Now, is there a silver lining? I mean, could it be said that, I don't know. I mean, there is like as a byproduct of the fermentation that was occurring, that maybe my bacteria, like, is there a possible health benefit to?
Oh yeah, there's definitely a possible health benefit, right? Because if you take a person, this would be effectively the same as having a carbonated water and an inulin supplement, right? Like they're not different. They're just put together. So, and with the proper amount of inulin supplementation, it might help people. But I don't actually see that as being the solution to this issue. Like we're not going to supplement our way out of this problem, right? Our fiber deficiency is deep and profound. So if we want to get this right, the way for us to approach this is diet first, maximize diet. It's quite simple. You'll find all plant-based foods have fiber. So if you, whatever plant-based food you enjoy, if you consume it, you know you are getting fiber, no questions asked. And we should take that as far as we can. And then once we take it there absolutely is an opportunity to basically like choose supplementation. But if I were choosing supplementation, inulin would not be the choice. That's not the choice.
Hey, if you liked that video, you need to check out this one here, and I'll see you there.